Good evening. It's time once again for the Sunday night HideNet Weekend Review. My name is Don Oshman, Editor-in-Chief and Publisher of HideNet Market Reports. In Europe this week, our editor Amadeo writes that there was a very quiet week, very little business. The tanners have fewer orders than they should at this time of year. That's for footwear, leather goods, furniture. Of course, automotive remains quite good. The ruble has improved a little bit in Russia, and that's giving some hopes to the Italians, who hope maybe something will happen. The same thing to the Turks, who hope maybe Russia will come back. But that remains to be seen as they become a customer again, or they won't. We have a special report on the Salon, I'm probably saying this wrong, Salon de Mobile, which is the European version of High Point, the big furniture market. Exclusive extensive report on that on our European market report. Get a free trial and you can read it. Raw hide prices in Europe were generally stable this week, but Arzignano is running about 70% of capacity except on the automotive sector. So everything else, footwear, furniture, personal goods, about 70% of capacity. And it's April. It should be a busy time. Veal, in the veal skin market, same old thing. If you got the top skins, great market. If you got anything below the top, you got to go begging to find a customer. North America this week, big news. The market really tanked. Steers fell $3 to $5. Texas are now $91 and $92 CNF. At Hong Kong, less than a month ago, they were over 100. Sharp declines in America. Branded steers, Colorado's also about the same price of Texas, maybe $90, $91 CNF. Butts were not so bad, but they're also down $2 and $3. Volume was better this week, but not enough. And there was some rumors of somebody dumping several hundred containers or 300 containers or numbers all over the place of wet blue into the marketplace around the world. Don't know the validity of that, but usually where there's smoke, there's fire. Cow sector is off $1 to $3. A big thing that came to forefront, we had an exclusive on it at HideNet. Pollution issues have forced Xinji, X-I-N-J-I, tanneries to shut down. There's one or two tanneries operating barely, and they've put their processing, their hide processing to, I think it was Wuxi, the nearest town, and they've raised the price, of course. Slaughter exceeded sales and shipments this week, but shipments were above slaughter, but sales were below even this very low slaughter. Forecast, tune in, you'll see. We've been right on a long time now, so HideNet.com, get a free trial, see what the market's going to do. Latin America, Brazil, TR1, number one wet blue, TR1 wet blue is running between $1.55 and $1.65. Very little business, nothing at $1.55. They're asking $1.70. So the market's somewhere really between $1.60, $1.65. The kill is down, which makes fresh and green prices strong, and the tanners are squeezed because the packers have less sides to sell. You got as many tanners trying to buy them. Meanwhile, the tanners can't get much business going. So very bad for Argentinian tanners now, who can't sell their leather into Europe either. So slow volume, and unless prices drop, and they hope that'll pick up the volume, but they can't afford to drop the prices because they got to pay too much for their green hides. Argentinian prices about steady, but down about 50% from their peak last year. And of course, splits are lousy wherever you go in a tough sell. That wraps up for tonight. Don Oshman, HideNet.com. Get a free trial. Costs nothing, but you can see what it can make you. Thanks for watching. Good evening. It's time once again for the HideNet Weekend Review Market Report video. My name is Don Oshman. It's Sunday night, April 19th, 2015, and I'm Editor-in-Chief and Publisher of HideNet Market Reports. In Europe this week, our editor, Armando, writes that it's a very quiet week. Tanneries have fewer orders for leather goods, footwear, and furniture. Upholstery, that's going, automotive, that's doing fine, but everything else is not so fine, and they say Arzignano is running about 70% of capacity. That's not good. The ruble has improved, as you can all read in the international newspapers, so some of the Italians are optimistic that will bring the Russians back into the market to take up their shoes and so on and so forth. A lot remains to be seen on that. There was a big furniture show, the equivalent of the European High Point furniture show in, I think, Milan. It's called Salon de Mobile, or Mobili, I don't know. We have an exclusive extensive report on that. If you want to see what's going on in the European leather furniture business, get a free subscription to HideNet.com's European report, and you can see what went on. Rawhide prices were generally stable, and veal demand is great like it's been for the few top selections, but after that, tough to get rid of them. Sheep and lamb are basically unchanged, and those guys in Turkey are hoping Russia comes into the market again. Of course, a lot of people are hoping Russia comes into the market again. North America, prices dropped drastically this week. Steers were down between $3 and $5, depending on selections. Heavy Texas are at $91, $92 CNF, some at $90. They were $100, about $100, less than a month ago in Hong Kong. Ranch steers, collies, all about the same. Butts, not so bad, but they're down as well. Everything is down because the packers have not been able to build a strong enough forward position. Wet blue prices were down $5 a piece to about 110 CNF. Now they were $115, $117. Volume was better this week, but it doesn't appear to be enough. And we also had rumors, don't know if they're true, rumors that a large quantity, a couple hundred containers or so of maybe 400 containers or so of wet blue were sold into overseas markets to help rectify forward sales positions for the tanneries. Cow sector's off about $1 to $3, not as bad as steers, but still a significant drop because the price is lower, so percentage-wise it's more severe. And then bad news came from Xinji, Xinji, in China this week. We had an exclusive that pollution has forced almost every tanner to shut down. Just a few drums are turning, and those tanners who had prices, green hides or hides to process, were able to send them to, I think it was Wuxi, where they raised the price to contract tan for them. So more and more troubles for these poor tanners in northern China. Also, China announced new regulations for wet salted hide imports in the United States. They have those for European now, more hoops to go through, and now it's going to affect North American hides into China. Slaughter exceeded sales, but shipments were above slaughter, which is a good sign. But slaughter, even at low levels, was more than what was sold. For our forecast, we've been right on the money for quite a while now, calling this downturn. HideNet.com. You can go to the website and sign up for free, and look at the money you can make with that information. Latin America this week, Brazil, prices have ranged from, people are bidding $1.55, asking prices are $1.70, $1.65. The trading seems to be $1.65 or less. But volume is down. Tanners have a catch-22, if you will, because the fresh and green prices are very strong because the kill is down, so the packers can ask any price they want, but not quite. The tanners have to pay it if they want to have hides to process, but they can't afford to pay what the market's willing to pay them for the TR1 or for their crust. So volume is slowed. And as the market is slowing, buyers are afraid because they think that, well, if I wait a little bit, I'll buy it cheaper. That's the same every place on a down market. Also, claims are up in America and Brazil because of the market. Argentina. In Argentina, prices are about steady, but it's not too surprising. As one pundit said, they're down 50% from their peak a year ago. Splits are weak all over, regardless of origin. That does it for tonight. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again next Sunday night.